back, viewers. Nepal police has said that the death toll from the Himalayan flood disaster has risen to 270, with nearly 1,300 people still missing, including more than 700 foreigners. Now, the catastrophic flash flooding swept through the border areas of Nepal and China's Tibet region on Wednesday. Now, with the US Geological Survey attributing the disaster to a glacial collapse. Now, satellite imagery has also revealed the scale of devastation that has taken place along a nearly 40-mile stretch of the Trishuli river, with the entire towns, including Betravati Bazar, severely damaged. Search and rescue operation is currently continuing across the affected region. Atul, a number has been put out that nearly 1,300 people are still missing and stranded after these floods. But of course, many towns are severely damaged, a high blow to the infrastructure also in Nepal.
Certainly, what we're given to understand is that obviously about 1,300 people are said to be missing. But what is significant is that, what makes this whole crisis quite international, quite global, is the fact that about 700 of those missing people are said to be foreign nationals. Obviously, India accounts for about 178 of those citizens. But apart from that, as I mentioned, US, UK, and other countries' citizens are also said to be in this whole, trapped in this whole crisis that is unfolding there. Now, apart from the fact that, Nepal Tourism Board has obviously, listed out the statement. Apart from that, what we're given to understand is that not just Rasua district, but some of the nearby districts as well. If you see the Nuarkot district particularly, which is another low-lying area where the Nepalese Prime Minister Balencia has also visited himself and taken a first-hand stock of the situation, where several of the bridges, in fact dozens of bridges in the Nuarkot district alone have been swept away completely, and about 44 kilometers of the national highways, they have been left absolutely unmotorable. You just can't commute on those highways, given the fact that several portions of those highways have been damaged heavily to an extent where commuting is something which is just simply not possible. And also given the fact that not just in Rasua but also in Nuarkot or in Dhandia or in some of the other districts nearby as well, we have seen that several highways have also been shut down because of the fact that they have suffered cracks, or the authorities are fearing that more landslides could follow, and that could eventually put more lives to danger, to risk. And that is why we have seen some proactive closure of highways as well, and we have seen announcements also from the government regarding advisories that has been issued to people as well as tourists to avoid those particular regions which are severely affected right now. So all of that has been taken into account, and accordingly the authorities are acting right now. But given the fact that this crisis has also gone international, what we are also getting to understand is that US has sent about $500,000 of aid in finances. That is what we are picking up right now directly to the Nepalese government. Apart from that, the US government has also dispatched one tragedy advisor, the disaster advisor person who is an expert who is said to be in the disaster relief. He has been sent by the US government in order to help the Nepalese government to deal with the whole crisis that is underway right now. So this is the latest that we are picking up.
Absolutely, Atul. Stay with us. We have more news coming in. Now, viewers, Nepal continues to face an extreme situation after the devastating floods. David Fisher, who heads the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies delegation in Nepal, says that the regions hit by Wednesday's floods are still facing very serious crisis. Fisher says that much more support is needed as rescue and relief efforts continue. The Red Cross is currently assessing the situation as we speak on the ground and supporting communities affected by the disaster. So, Atul, of course, a lot of countries are now being roped in. Help is being extended by India as well, but essentially a statement coming in that clearly suggests that more help is currently needed.
Well, the head of the delegation of the IFRC in Nepal, David Fisher, he has given a statement and said that entire villages and market areas have been wiped out by flash flood, with at least 10,000 families displaced and many areas only accessible by helicopter. Now remember, all this while we have been talking about death toll, people who are injured, people who are missing, but we haven't been speaking about people who have been displaced. And probably this is the first time we're getting a number that has come from somebody who is actively involved in the whole effort to rescue people. people that about 10,000 people are said to have been displaced. So that is also a significant number. And remember, these are official numbers. So in reality, those numbers could very well be higher than that. And he has also warned, David Fisher has also warned that extreme situation is unfolding right now there, and there's simply nowhere to run as well. And he has also indicated that it will take some time for the Nepal to recover from the situation that it is going through right now. So it's a big statement that is coming, and obviously several of the countries are also extending their some sort of aid and also of relief measures that they could in this situation that is unfolding there. Now Indian government, as we heard MEA Randir Jaiswal, the spokesperson, stating that yesterday India sent aircraft full of aid as well as medicines, essential supplies. Now we are hearing that Indian government has also sent another aircraft, a C-17 Globemaster, a humongous aircraft with with tons of medical aid as well as food, as well as some of the essential items that is obviously needed for people who are particularly displaced in those particular regions, as well as the fact that some of the belly bridges is also what he particularly mentioned. Given the fact that so those hundreds of square kilometers of areas in this particular region has been swept away and completely deluged, they're completely submerged in water. What we need is that, since the connectivity and the roads and the bridges have absolutely collapsed, what we need is the belly bridges in order to extradite the whole situation, expedite the whole the rescue effort. And that is why belly bridges are very, very crucial. And obviously India is quite experienced when it comes to managing disaster relief, and that is why India is extending all sort of not just the products as well as items, but also expertise when it comes to dealing with such crisis. And that is what MEA spokesperson Randir Jaiswal has also highlighted. Obviously MEA is also closely in touch with the Nepalese government because of the fact that about at least officially 178 Indian nationals are said to be missing right now. All of them belong to various states, and they were there in Nepal for various reasons. Most of them for Kailash Mansarovar Yatra is what we are picking up. And so the MEA is in touch with the Nepalese government as well there in order to help a priority rescue for those missing Indian nationals, and also to establish contact with those citizens, because remember, not all of them are said to be trapped in those particular regions where this flash flood has happened, be it Raswa or the Numakot districts, but particularly given the fact that there's road connectivity and as well as the internet connectivity, the mobile connectivity has been disrupted severely across the region. That is why we see that some of the in fact most of these tourists or the pilgrims are said to be not having lost any connection either with their counterparts here in India or with their travel partners who sort of facilitated their whole travel to Nepal, is what we are getting to understand.
Right, Atul, stay with